Hey guys, welcome back. And I have a question for you. Where the bleep are you? I'm saying bleep because I don't want to swear, but where the fuck are you? Like, your presence is required, and yet you are not here. Now, you could take that literally, or you could take that figuratively right now, because I am not talking about you physically being in my presence. I'm talking about you being physically in anyone's presence, in your own presence. Where the bleep are you? Are you here? Are you living in your past? Are you living in your future? Are you living right now? Guys, this is a common issue. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about your presence and how your presence is vital. It is important that you show up day in and day out, show up where you need to be. Be here with us. Your presence is key. It is the master key to your success. So if you want to be successful, it doesn't matter what you want to be successful in, whether it be raising chickens, whether it be being a homeschool mom, whether it be running a successful real estate agency, whether it be running a successful franchise, whether it be, a top CEO or a lawyer. It does not matter what you choose to be, but if you want to be successful at it, you have to be present. You have to unlock those secrets of success. So cultivating presence, guys, I'm going to talk about this really, really in depth tomorrow, but I just want to give you guys a little glimmer into what's going on. So we must be present for our own journey. So if I don't know if anybody knows there's a book called the hero's journey, and it is usually, there's also a heroine's journey one, which I have not bought yet, but there's the hero's journey, and we talk about the journey that we have to go through in order to get where we need to be. So all movies are based on this. If you take a look at like the Star Wars series, we see Luke grow from one end to the other end. This is the pattern of life. This is just a reflection of who we are and how we work as human beings. We must be present, though. We have to show up for our mission. Otherwise, nothing can change. Nothing can move forward. The storyline ends right there, right? We can't live in our pasts, because if we live in the past, then we aren't able to move forward. The past holds us captive. You are not, your history defines you, but you are not captive to your history. Your history may define you, but it does not lock you in chains from where you can go in the future. If you are truly present in where you are now, you can change where the future trajectory is. If you are living in the future, then you are hindering your present moment, because you're not allowing yourself to experience and to live and to be fully joyful in what is going on in your life at that moment, and or make the shifts that you need to make so that your future is changed. Have you ever gone into a conversation with someone and had an idea of what you thought they were going to say, and you kind of were projecting what you thought the outcome would be? Come on. If anyone has been in a relationship, I know you know what I'm talking about. So if you understand what I'm talking about, drop a 1 down in the comments, guys, because seriously, everybody on the face of the planet has been in some sort of relationship where they have projected what they thought. They're living in the future of how this conversation is going to go. Oh my God. And when you go into a conversation, you hinder yourself from being present. You hinder yourself from actually hearing what's going on and how you're communicating with the other person on the other end. They don't get it. They can't read your mind, and you're already way past them. We have to live in the present, because that's the only thing we can change. We can't change the future, and we can't change the past. The only thing we have control over is being in the present. And learning how to let go of our ego and live in the present is the true journey of a hero or a heroine. The first journey is within ourselves. Guys, I'm looking down at my notes here, so I apologize if I have to. I was preparing another topic altogether today, and I just realized it was going to get way too big. It was going to get too expansive, and I'm definitely going to tackle it. I'm planning on sitting down tomorrow and really getting into it. But for right now, I've got these that I just literally really quickly jotted down for myself. So first, our journey is within ourselves, to discover our own wisdom and the answers that are found within our own beings. So a lot of times we look to other people, we look on the outsides of ourselves, we look for someone to be our leader, when actually what we need to do is connect to ourselves, connect to our higher beings, connect to our fuller being, and that's going to give us the answers that we're looking for. So what is presence? Presence is that sweet spot between living here and being in the world but not being of the world. Now, for those of you who have a religious background, who grew up in the church, you've heard that phrase before: being in the world but not being of the world. There's also Joseph Campbell, who wrote that heroic journey, also says it's the navel between heaven and earth. So it's that sweet spot, it's that middle ground where you're present. You have this profound sense of the moment. You are in the moment, like I am right now with you. You have a state of being in constant and conscious contact with one's true higher self as well. So you're not necessarily just here, but you also know that there's something bigger, there's something better, there's the universe, there's the God, there's the goddesses, there's Allah, whatever you choose to call it. There's somebody who's got your back, right? Somebody who is pushing you along. It could just be your higher self. When you're in that sweet spot, when you're in your presence, we become fully aware of and accept whatever is going on around us and within us. We are aware of the sorrows, we're aware of our fears, we're aware of the resistance. And so often, and I can tell you that I am probably the number one, I'm not the number one culprit, everyone's the number one culprit, but I am definitely a top candidate for culprits in those that are living in the future, the past, or the present, because I am one of those people who tends to go, go, go. So I'm not able to stay still and be solid in the moment that's going on right this very second. I'm already thinking 3 steps ahead. I'm already waiting on you on the bus, waiting for you to get there. I'm already thinking about, okay, what's the next step? Where do I go from here? When I haven't completed the step that's there. Have you ever tried to put together a bookcase from IKEA? I love putting together furniture. Personally, I absolutely love putting together furniture. My mom actually calls me every time she goes and buys something from IKEA because she knows I love putting together furniture. But with IKEA furniture, it is very, very important that you are in the present moment, that you follow each direction step by step. If you don't, you are going to end up with some mangled mess of nonsense, right? If anybody's done that, give me a drop of 2 down in the comments, because I know I've been there and I love it. But it also makes you become very present. You have to be aware of what is going on in the moment. If you don't, forget it. The results are going to be ridiculous. So when we're in the present moment is the only real moment in which we can gain clear understanding. It's clear understanding of what is really going on, what is required of us. So often we consciously choose to avoid what is going on in us by not being present. We choose to run off and watch TV. We choose to get into a different relationship. We choose to move into something else that has absolutely nothing to do with us actually wanting to be there, but us to be avoiding what we don't want to be a part of. We don't want to hear the sorrow. We don't want to feel the resistance. We don't want to, face those fears. Instead, we'd rather push against it. And in doing that, we're living in the future. We're moving on to something new. We can't stay present with what's going on. What is required of us is what is seeking our attention and what we need to manifest. Those are the things that happen when we're in the present moment. What does it feel like? It feels like calm. It feels like centered, being balanced, even when there's chaos. And if you are a leader of any sort of tribe or team or a manager, this is something that has to be cultivated. You have to be able to stay calm in all of the chaos. Personally, right now in my company, we're dealing with a lot of chaos. There's a lot of nonsense that's going on around us because we've become an industry disruptor, which is basically something we're going to talk about, here coming up. We've become a disruptor because we're creating something that's never been before. And so we're changing the status quo, which is creating chaos around us. But in order to truly step forward as leaders, we have to be able to be calm, be centered, and balanced. We can't let every little comment send us off into a tizzy. We can't let every little attack, every suspect, every misguidance or judgment send us off into a direction that we don't need to be in, or to actually affect how we do business. Because when you're centered, when you're calm, when you are balanced, you can take in all that's around you. You can take in all the nonsense that's around you and be able to process it through your filter, and then be able to speak more intelligently, to be able to communicate more intelligently, to be able to lead your tribe, your team, your group, your business, your company to the next level. But when you're not balanced, when you're not present, when you're not fully there, any little thing can send you spinning off because you didn't see it coming and you don't know how to balance yourself. But if I were to throw a ball at you and you were looking right at me, then you know how to catch it. If you're not looking at me, you're not present in that moment, and I threw a ball at you, you're most likely going to get hit and set off balance. That's what I'm talking about, guys. You get it? So you can't be a full Shakti leader, a conscious leader, an Aquarian leader without really being fully present. Attaining that calm state takes effort. It takes effort and it takes practice. It is not something that we are born with, and especially in this day and age with all the electronics that we have, all the gizmos, the gadgets, the apps, the dings, the bells, the whistles, all the things that we have in this world, we have a really hard time being present. It is extremely hard to be present because there's always something vying for your attention. I am a huge, huge component. Squirrel syndrome. Anyone? Squirrel? I'm always looking at that shiny object. And this year I've really had to take myself back and turn inward and say, you know what? You need to be present in the moment. You can't get things done when you're constantly moving in the wrong directions. You're constantly all over the place. You have to be able to be present in what's going on in order to move forward. So attaining this calm state takes effort and practice in what we call sadhana in the yoga practices, and Kundalini specifically. We have a morning practice that keeps us grounded, it keeps us balanced, it keeps us centered. When you're in this relaxed concentration, this relaxed concentrated state can be cultivated. It just takes time and practice. So the more we can anchor in our presence and operate from there, the more joy we can have. The easier life gets, because all the little things don't send us off into tizzies. All the little things don't send us off into ways that we don't necessarily want to move. But in order to get there, we have to make the commitment to be present. So guys, I wanted to talk about presence today, and if you're interested in cultivating, if you really want to explore the idea of cultivating your presence, I have a beautiful little practice that I'm actually going to do a live video on tomorrow at 2 p.m. in my La Fempreneur Society group. So we're going to do just a very quick, easy, simple meditation guidance to really kind of give you guys that basic practice so that you can understand how you can cultivate your presence. You can call back your power. You can call back your presence no matter where you are, any time of day. Any time of night. It doesn't matter where you are. You have that ability. But until you learn how to do that, and you take a few minutes to get into presence, and then you actually take a few more minutes to get into presence, and you continue to build on that and sustain the amount of time that you're able to be in presence, eventually you can spend the entire day in presence. But it's always going to be one of those things you're going to pop out of until you start practicing more and more of. So if you're interested in checking out the practice, again, like I said, I'm going to do it tomorrow at 2 p.m. unless I have something else going on, which I don't think so. I think I checked the calendar. I think we're okay. I'm going to do a live practice here, not here on my page, but in La Fempreneur Society. So if you're interested, guys, drop a fem down in the comments. I am happy to add you to the group and to introduce you to this beautiful practice. It's a little bit of a breathing exercise, a pranayama exercise, and just, really a mindful practice that you can use anywhere at any given time. And I might make it available for other people to check out later on. If you can't make it, it will be recorded, obviously, because it's on Facebook. So anyways, guys, that's what I want to talk about tonight. That's what I'm going to challenge you to do. I'm going to challenge you to start cultivating more presence in your life. Where are you not present in your life? If you can just be aware of where you're not present, you're already one step ahead, because you're already starting to cultivate awareness, and you're also cultivating your presence. Where do you need to show up more in your life? How are you going to go about doing that? How are you going to cultivate presence in your life so that you can be the successful leader that you choose to be? that you can have the success in your business, in your life, in your family, in your relationships, how are you going to cultivate this presence in order to get you to where you want to be, what you would identify as success? I'll leave you with that, guys. My name is Leah Moore. I am your social selling alchemist, your attraction marketing techie, your fierce feminine Shakti leader, mentor, coach, and guide. And I am so honored that you spent a few minutes with me tonight talking about your presence and how it is vital in this world. And I hope that you choose to show up as well. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.